welcome to my YouTube channel again. In this last video, we had covered some basic UI part of our old screen, basically for sign up and login. Now, before implement actual Firebase connectivity to it, I need to write some code for loader, like uh, whenever our API is calling or we are connecting to our database. So we just need to call our loading screen, and basically I had write some design for loading screen. It is just some simply activity indicator. I had wrap something and wrap inside a view, and here is style for loading, this one. You can simply find this file from my GitHub account. uh, the loader will shown based on condition, like simply I'm giving it default as false. So we'll write our context for this. Just move to app.js file. I just need to wrap it inside fragment and cut it from here. Save this one, and I do not need this text. Just bring loader here. There you can see we are not saying anything, and let me give a quick demo how it look. So if I'm give it not, I think it's pass value of 2. There you can see it is some shade throughout the screen, and it is center of the screen. Now start to write context for this so that we can use this globally. Okay, so for this I had already created a context folder, and if you guys are familiar with the Redux, so I'll write context in the same way. You need to just create our action and reducer folder here. So here I'm going to use my action folder, and next folder should be reducers, and for next folder I'm going to use my store file. I think I had right reducer. Move this. That's fine. Now store has its own index.js file, and for reducer I'm going to create a folder for loader, and for import export I'm going to use index.js as its entry file, and for loader I'm going to give index.js as well. Now for the action we need to create some types. So for action I'm going to write a file for like give it name of types.js. So just right here, and this one for the loader action I need to export const loading start, and give same name here as a string. Copy this one line, and in place of start I just need to write stop here. So st. Now move to our reducer file, and looking for all of this. Like first of all I need to import loading start, then I need to import the loading stop, and I have to give it to const initial. Okay, this should be const initial state, and this should be by default I'm giving it loading to the false. Now I'm going to write my switch case const loader, and it will hold the value of state. By default I'm going to give state to the initial state. I'm going to just pass the params for this, and second one, it holds the action. So let's do some destructure here. Action should contain a type and also contain a payload, and just to check this thing from the action. I think it's showing some error here as well. So I forgot to write here as well. This should be an arrow function, and I need to write my switch case for this. Basically, switch will hold the type, and for the case, I'm going to give whether our loading is starting or not. So loading start, first case should be like this: loading should start, and copy this one. Second case, what we have to do when loading should stop, and by default I'm going to return its value to my initial state, what we have inside our state. And for if loading is starting, then we had just a simple return, just change the state of the loading to the true, and also, and when the our loading has been stopped, that's then change a simple state of return loading to the false. So that's all we have to do. I think we do not need payload, and so leave it for as this now. So export it by default, and pass the loader here. Save this one. Now just move to the entry file, which will work for our import and export. Here I just bring my loader here. So import loader. I think I had exported default, so I just did not need to create any curly braces for this. So just jump to directory back and export here loader. That's all we had set up for my action and for reducer. Now just we need to set up for our store. So for store, I'm going to using React create store. So const creating a variable const, and I'm going to export it default. So export const store is equal to bring React dot create context, and I need to bring React here as well. So I'm going to use bring React, and use reducer, bring this thing from React. Save this one. Now I have to bring my loader here as well, that I'll use inside my store as a use reducer, and I have to bring it two step back from the reducer index file and give it name of loader. Now I have to write for like for when I initialize const dispatch to the empty object, and I'm gonna export a function that should be a store provider, and it holds the props. and I need to pass my all reducer inside here, like all reducer. So const use reducer. I had already bring this, and inside it I had to pass name of loader and action should be dispatched. Here you can dispatch it whatever you going to name given. You have to use this inside the component. So map loader state and dispatch loader action should be fine for this. Dispatch loader action. That's all. Now we have to use value of all reducer. So values of all reducers. They should be as here as well. So here I have to use const loader value is equal to the map loader state and dispatch loader action. This should be same whatever you had passed here. And now whatever we have all reducer, we had to combine all of these value in a single variable. So combine all values const value, and you can simply copy this with a spread operator. Simply pass the loader value. Now we're good to go to create our store, and it should return store.provider, and we had to pass here props.children, so we can use it in our app.js simply. And for value I'm going to pass here value and simply give reference of value. Now to use in our application, just move to our app.js file and bring here store provider, and in place of fragment I'm going to use store provider, and I do not need fragment anymore. Save this one. I think I had do something wrong. Say const value loader value. Okay, I had to write comma and semicolon both of these things. Now we good to go. We had set up for the setup for the our context. Just move to our loading screen component, and this is our loader. What I need to do in I have to use my const global state, and I can simply grab it using use context hook, and inside it I have to pass reference of store. That's all. Now I have to dispatch this one is a global state. Okay, this should be global state, and which state I have to use? I have to use my map loader state, and from map loader state I have to use a const loading shouldn't be from there, map loader state, and just remove this one. That's all. And now let's try to change it using our component. Let's move to login and copy this one, move to login, and in place I have to use context, just import it, don't forget. Store, and in place of map state I have to dispatch our loader action here. So just copy this one, dispatch loader action. So whenever the sign in press in place of alert, I'm going to use dispatch loader action, and inside it I'm going to pass the type loading start. Save this one, let's see what happened. Okay, it is asking email required. Let's write something here. There you can see loading start, and if I check here like set, I'm going to use set timeout, and just I'm giving it some interval of 2 seconds. I think this should be enough, and after this it's going to stop this one. So just change its state to loading stop. Just reload our application once. There you can see after 2 seconds it stop. So like whenever we gonna make asynchronous call with our API, it will start our loading, and then we can simply stop our loading after if we got the response success of or we gonna stop it if we're gonna get any error. So from next video we're gonna implement Firebase authorization, like for login and sign up with our application.